Hello everybody. There is no Dylan today because he is on his way to Mexico for his honeymoon, and so we are very happy for him and Branda. Um, Marty and I will be kind of taking over a lot of Dylan's things. So if you have been in communication with Dylan on any ongoing things, projects, events, please just reach out to Marty or I for the next week. He will be back in office next week, but I have told him he is not allowed to be on his phone working until then.
Same.
Um, yes, I know. Marty has told him several times as well, I know. Um, Couple other updates and then we'll jump into this. Clayton and I wanted to do a ambassador training 201. And it's basically going to be the first steps you would take as a new ambassador to set yourself up for success. But updates first. US event. We had a meeting with all the US ambassadors for the Nashville event, and a couple Canadian ambassadors who hop on our calls. We are basically all set for that Nashville event. We gave them the agenda and what's to be expected for the event. So we are very excited for that. If you are a US ambassador and you missed that, please reach out and we will help give you that recording. For the European tour, we are finalizing some basic invites that look like just a little media asset that you all can print out or share with people. We're going to have it translated into English, German, French, Spanish. I think that's all. Uh,
Those will be done today. We'll
yes,
be sending those out at the end of the day.
yeah, thank you for that, Marty. I saw you sent me the first version and I missed that till just now. So we will have those out. We'll put them in the different chats, WhatsApps, Telegrams we have, and we will post them on socials so people can grab them there as well. Um, Two other updates. We are going to run a surprise sale for this weekend in celebration of Labor Day and in celebration of Dylan. So it's actually something Dylan asked to be done, and we figured this was a perfect time. Marty, I am just now telling you this because I just got it approved by Clayton, so we will meet about this afterwards. But we are going to run a sale from Friday to end of day Monday for the performance pack, because it is Dylan's favorite products, and he asked for that to be done. So we will put out information on that today and tomorrow
Yep.
so that you all can share that with your community. So look forward to that. Get ready to advertise that. And if you all know any gyms, personal trainers, wellness coaches, this is a perfect time for them to promote this. Um, It will be a one-time use code per customer, but everybody will be able to use it. So we will put out more on that soon. And then Marty, I feel like I had another update, but I don't remember. Am I missing anything you can think of?
No, you nailed the European tour, the US tour, the sale. I think we're good.
Okay. Questions on all that before we dive in today. I know I threw a lot at you all. Forgot there was a chat. Um, Clara, it is current as of last quarter, end of quarter one. I will put that on my to-do list to go review after the call today. We were supposed to review at the end of Q2, and I think that got forgotten in some of the chaos. I can find my pin. I lose more pins than any
I
human.
wrote it down. I got it. I wrote it
Thank
down.
you. I literally sit at the same desk. I don't know where they go, but that's okay. Any other questions? Just message one of us on WhatsApp. It is in the silver chat, so some people have it and could probably share it, but also reach out to us and we'll share it. Daniela, yes, it's exactly like socks. I just had to buy more socks last weekend. I have no idea where they went. Okay. So we are going to get started with tips and tricks that we teach new ambassadors when they're getting started. You all might have a different way. If you have a large community, maybe you teach this slightly different, and that is fine. This by no means you have to copy it, but it is an idea or just extra examples for you to follow if you want to. And so again, when we have a new person that we meet, whether that's in an event or is local, and they come into the office to be trained on being an ambassador, this is what we tell them to do. And so, Marty, can you give me ability to share my screen?
Um, you're talking to the wrong guy, but sure, I can give it a shot.
I think I sent a request.
Oh, look at you.
There
Oh
we go.
my, I'm a Zoomaholic now. Love this. Did you get
Oh,
it?
yeah, it's not gonna let me though because I have my new computer that I'm on. All right, I'm gonna leave Marty entertained for a second.
Okay, I'll entertain. You guys like me to sing, dance, or no, I'm just kidding. I see there's questions about the US tour video. So I'm curious, are we talking about the promo video that we did? We can be putting that on the link as well as like Duquesne said, we will be putting invites for everything US and European on the WhatsApp groups, which would be good. See here, what else we got? We got a bunch of questions going on. Has everybody that's coming to these events realized that there are links too, that those links have to be responded to, so that we get a good head count? I hope that everybody has. I would love to make sure that we have a good count for everybody.
Yeah, and I will say those who reply to the links in our RSVP will be assured a goodie bag, or some sort of treat, samples, so on and so on. Because that is something we are doing at all events is having some sort of either samples or treat. And if we don't know the exact numbers or you're not on the list, you just might miss out on that. I don't think we won't stop you from coming in. You just might not have something waiting for you. Okay, so again, this is what we tell people to do first when they become a new ambassador. I also think this is good to do if you have reached a slump. Maybe you haven't seen any growth in a while. Maybe you feel like you have plateaued. I think this is a good place to go back to the beginning and kind of rebuild up this way or have a jump start. We actually just did this in HQ with all of our employees. Well, we did it with the managers. We're going to do it with the employees next as a way to kind of revitalize just the employees' knowledge of the products and the root system. So we're excited for that. So, one of the first things we do with ambassadors as they come into the office, if they've tried products, this is easier. If not, this is a good chance for them to explore. But we tell them to pick out three products that they want to focus on. Not one, you need more than one because you need to be able to appeal to a larger range of people, and not 10 because if you get 10, you're going to overwhelm people. Pick three. If you want to do four, that is fine as well. But that range of 3 to 5 is ideal. And so what we tell them to do is to pick those and just look and learn from the PDPs. Just start off by picking three you like and doing basic knowledge. Once that person has their three, we ask them to go make referral codes. Okay. And we actually just did this with all the managers. I led a training on it on Friday, but we asked them to go to the referral code link. And the reason we do this is it's a great way to get them to start exploring and trying out the root account. That way they are doing it without you having to do everything for them. And so what we do is we have everybody in the office, any new ambassador, create a referral link that has three products that they like. And we make them keep it in their notes, either on their phone, on their computer, whatever device they use the most. They are required to copy it and keep it somewhere that they have easy access to. And so, well, I could just do that. And what we do, so many tabs going on, is have them create that here. I know this is in English translators. I will speak as I'm typing just so you have it up there. But steps as a new ambassador. So pick your 3 to 5 focus products. Create your special referral links. I actually probably would not usually do zero in, although I do love zero in. I probably would do ROM roast, give me back my youth. So I will add ROM roast on here. And just so you know, I do this. So if you went on my phone and you had my notes, I actually have this in my notes. There's my wedding speech, actually.
You could
Somewhere
also,
in my
I've done
notes.
it because you can get the QR codes too. You
Yeah.
can, I
You
actually
do
have
it
it.
with QR codes a lot
I
more,
have it
don't
on my
you?
notes page with just a
Yeah.
QR code so that all I have to do is open it up and show people the QR code.
And does it not help, especially when you're working booths?
It helps when booth, but it also helps like when you're at an event or just talking to anybody that you have something quick to showcase what the product is.
I will say I normally create it just to go to the PDPs, not to the cart builder. And the reason is I share this out all the time just in conversation. So I don't share it out to get sales. I share this out. That's not what. Just as when somebody says, "Hey, what do you do for work?" Oh, I help manage this amazing brand company that is sold through the Root Brands called Rom Roast. Here, let me send you a link just so you can check it out. If they never click on it, fine. I never said, "Hey, go buy this." I just said, "This is what I do, and this is one of my favorite things about what I do." It is much more organic than trying to sell constantly. And so I often recommend that people just build it to the PDPs when they're doing this exercise that I'm talking about. So once people have their three, I tell them to go research on the site and YouTube about that product. So I will show you all. This is a lot easier to do on the computer. Dylan and I discovered you cannot do this on the phone. I will take a pause after this for questions before I get into the next part. Um, and again, this is for brand new ambassadors, but I also think it is very useful for ambassadors who might want to jumpstart, feel like they've reached a plateau, just a little stuck. And so, what I will tell them to do, and I will show them how to do this at first, is to go to the Root Brands YouTube and type in the three products they picked. And a ton of videos will come up, and they can just spend time learning about them. The other thing that is very useful for this is that the videos they like a lot or that they think explain a lot about the products, they can copy and paste those and also add them to their notes. So they have a link to quickly send people if they ask questions. So if somebody asks, "Oh, ROM roast, that's interesting. What's like the purpose and mission behind it?" Well, there's a video on that. Or what's the science behind it? There's a meeting on that. And you can quickly send that out. You can do this for all the products. Wonder if it's giving me back my youth. Cannot spell. And it has it all. This is a great tool for people to use. And I don't think people use it enough, and I don't think enough new ambassadors use it. But once you have that, again, recommend people save that video in your notes so that you'll always have it when you need to share it out. So I want to stop there and see if we do have any questions so far. Nothing. Okay. Marty and Clayton, anything I'm doing wrong so far?
That's exactly what I would do. That's what I exactly done.
Yeah, Elizabeth, that's great. Actually, I use Google Docs all the time, in Google Excel sheets or Google Sheets because I can quickly share that out and I can share it to people as view only. So if you are somebody interested in that, that does work well.
Like I said, I
So,
use notes. I use my notes a lot too on my phone.
yeah.
Just easy to reach it.
And you almost always have those stayed with you. Okay, we'll continue on. I think this is going to be interesting to people because I don't think they'll assume this. Video. So save the videos that teach you a lot. I just want to make a note of that. Number 4, what we ask people to do is we ask them to create a list of 100 people that they think would be interested in the products. So create a list of 100 people potentially interested in the products or your work. I have some friends who honestly are not interested in the products at all, but they are very interested in just my life. And so they're very receptive when I talk about what I do or I'm sharing information. I have a lot of friends that might not buy products often, but they will like and reshare everything I post. And that is just as valuable sometimes. What we tell people to do though is as a new ambassador, I do not think you should do any outreach until you've created your list of 100 people. So no outreach until 100 people.
Why would you say that?
So when people start off early, if they only have 10 potential people to reach out to and they get all no's, it's very discouraging. So having a small list often causes people to give up hope very early. If you have a list of 100 people, then you have more people you can like contact as leads. Um, I also think this stops people from reaching out before they have the knowledge necessary. And so if I tell people wait until you have 100 in their free time as they're building up that list of 100 people, 100 contacts, 100 leads, they are spending more time learning about the products, creating their special links, watching YouTubes, attending ambassador calls. And so I think it's a great number to start with. I see Jill has a question.
Hello. I don't have a question so much as a comment. One thing I want to say about the list of 100 is your friends and family are often the last people to support you. And I don't know why that is. It's a mentality thing. I find that not only for myself, but for a lot of people. So when you're making the list, don't just think about like your closest friends and family. Think about people that you've met in the community and who they might have a contact with. Or, sometimes when I'll talk to somebody about the product, I actually take the pressure off of them and I'll say, hey, if you know of anybody that it might benefit from what I'm doing, please feel free to pass my name and number along. I just caution people on that list of 100 that your friends and family, if you've done this before, tend to say like, oh, it's another MLM. Now what are you selling? So just kind of wanted to put that out there in support of everybody. Think
Yeah.
outside of your closest friends and your parents, your siblings. Like literally my siblings don't even know what I do because that's how that usually goes.
And that's such an amazing point. And that actually goes exactly on to what my point five is, although based exactly off what Jill just said, it probably should be like a 4B. Meet new people. This doesn't seem like it's for being a root ambassador, but it ends up helping. It also helps you just as a human being. I think this every year I have on my end of like beginning of year goals to meet new people. But meet new people and leads. And what I mean for that is that it is great, especially when people are getting started, to attend events, even if they've gone to many health and wellness events. Going to an event with the mindset of being a root ambassador or looking at social media groups that are about health and wellness with the mindset of being an ambassador and knowing stuff about products is a very different viewpoint. And so attend events, go to talks, join social media groups, find I call them connectors. That doesn't have this is kind of what Jill was referring to. But instead of going to your friends and family and saying, "Hey, are you interested in this?" Connectors are people that I just ask for leads basically. Or I just ask for like, "Hey, do you know friends that are interested in coffee?" So connectors are help you find new leads or interest. And so most of my friends are not actual customers, they're connectors because they are very willing to anytime they are in a setting and somebody brings up coffee, they are so supportive when it comes to, oh, my best friend actually has a coffee that he really loves. I could send you some information on it, or I could give him your contact information, or hey, I might be able to get a discount for you. And so connectors are great because they help you grow that. And so while people are creating their list of 100 people, I also usually am asking them to do number five. What this usually does, this will help build out your 100, will help build out your full 100 and start the groundwork for your next 100. Because one of the things we do a lot with ambassadors in office is we constantly have them building list of 100. So if we have somebody local, if we have an intern coming in, we are having them build list of 100. If they are stuck and they haven't built another list of 100, then that's the first thing we tell them to do. Oh, I haven't found anything. Do you have a new upcoming list of 100 to focus on? And if they don't, that's what they need to start on. Now, if they go through two or three groups of people without any momentum, then we'll take a break, take a step back, and see what we can do differently. But we do this two or three times before we even hear them saying, hey, it's not working. Because what happens as you are outreaching to those hundreds is, I'm going to be honest, the first 20 are probably going to go horrible. If you are somebody that it goes great, then you are much more naturally good at this than I am. And congrats. But what you do is you learn what works for you and what connects with other people. And so having that list of 100, making sure you have 100 people gives you all that room to practice. It also makes you meet new people, find connectors, find contacts. Sometimes it might just help you find a new friend along the way. They might not like the products, but you find somebody who you get along with great. And so it is a great tool to use as a new ambassador or when you are stuck and feel like you've hit a plateau. So I want to stop here and check on questions again.
Jill's hand is up again.
No, sorry,
Oh,
I didn't take my hand down
you're
before.
good.
Sorry.
You're good.
You're good.
Anything you all can ask why I do this. You can even tell me you have a different technique you do with people.
Love to hear it.
Yes, Elizabeth. So you can create in the referral link builder, you can create links that are hooked up. It's the same code, but it's linked to different products. And so you can do that, and I'll show this one more time. This is actually what we went over last week in the training, was just using this. But when you go to referral link, you'll have your basic code, but you're able to modify it so it goes to specific products. So this would send you to Relive Greens. This would send you to the Zero In Minis. This would send you to Clean Slate. Um, so yes, that is something you can do. I saw Jennifer had her hand up.
I did.
Oh,
I,
yes.
I think you said something about PDP. Is that product display photo? Is that what that means?
Yes, sorry. I need to get better at that. Product description page. So that's just the page that has the pictures of the photos, but also the description. It will have a video. If you're in the US, it will have the certifications, icons, so on and so on.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure.
No, that's a great question. Elizabeth, you can build it to have multiple in a cart. So you can go here. This would lead you straight to a cart instead of a product description page. But if you do this link, it would send a person to the checkout page with all those products in their cart. Margaret, I see your hand. Let me ask you to unmute.
Ja, hallo, ich brauche einen Übersetzer, bitte. Also, wie kommen die Leute denn dann dazu, dass sie das in Prime tun? Mein Anliegen ist ja auch, dass sie dann schnell in Prime kommen. Wie machst du das?
So, to be honest, I currently always let people order on their own first, and I give them the welcome back coupon, which essentially is free shipping for most areas. If they are somebody who then enjoys the products, I tell them about Root Prime and that they can get it for 10% off. That is very different from how other people do it. Clayton and Dylan often talk about RPS earlier because they tell people that they can get it at a cheaper price, and that works well for them. So you can do either, but what I do often is I always want people to try the products first. If it is something they enjoy, I let them know that if they are interested in continuing to get it in the future, I have a way for them to get it with 10% discount. And then I will often get on a Zoom with them and show them how to sign that up. Yes, the welcome back coupon is still working. It is only a one-time use code though. So if you've used it before, it's not going to work. Did that help, Margaret?
Ja, prima, Dankeschön. Dankeschön, das hilft mir. Dankeschön.
Yeah, I only share the group, but only when I'm like, I know that they're actually interested in the products and they're like, they want to see something come back and forth. And then, like you said, Duquesne, if you have a list of people, like I started to make not a list, the actual name list, but of actually people I kind of run into every day through these buildings that we're at, downstairs, upstairs. And you see these people all the time. Most of the time as humans, we just kind of walk by, get into our job, get into our cubicle and get going. Whereas I'm trying to take efforts now to see people that you see every day. You may not have their name, but start up conversations. And then those conversations kind of usually turn into something else, which actually turn into things that you didn't know you're going to be talking about, which actually would lead into the root products.
Am I logged in as the root brands? I just realized.
Sure, we both are.
I don't know how that happened.
I changed my name.
Andrea?
Yes, hi everyone. I was just wondering, Duquesne, would you be so kind as to share these documents or send us the document in the comment section? That
Yeah,
would be cool.
I can do that. I'm gonna share it in a way where you all are just editors that or viewers, so you will have to make
Yeah.
your own copy. I also recommend people, and I had kind of mentioned this when I shared my spreadsheets with you all that had like all the product videos. This is a
Mm,
great tool for you all to do on your own, even if you have a template, just because it's a great way to learn about the products. And so,
mm,
but yes, I will share this once I get it.
okay, thanks.
Copy link. I will say, if you are an ambassador who has a big community and you are training a new ambassador, it is much better to type this out and do it with them individually every time instead of just sharing it
Yeah.
with them. That's just kind of a little teaching hack of I have this
Mhm.
document saved somewhere else, but each time I go over it with a new person, I basically retype it up and I do it live with them because it helps them when somebody sees something being typed up and said out loud at the same time, it sticks in their head because it's a secondary touch point for them to remember it.
Yeah, I
So,
understand. Yeah.
but yeah, I shared that in the chat for you all to have. Awesome. I will keep going now. So once that list of 100 is built, there's a there's several things you can do. So once 100 collected, so once 100 are collected, decide on how to outreach and contact. And what I mean by this is that everybody has a different specialty on how to connect and talk with people. If you are somebody who loves doing talks, I would send out some basic information and invite them to a Zoom where you were going to tell more. If you are somebody who is great at email marketing and you do everything with SEO and online traffic, maybe you send out emails and you put them in an email funnel. If you are great at social media, maybe you just add them on social media, make sure they're added, and invite them to a group that you have or that you run. If you like to have individual conversations, maybe you ask every single person of 100 just to catch up and grab a cup of coffee. I'm thinking of some other ways. I've seen people house or host like dinner parties or coffee parties, and they'll invite groups of 5 to 10 people. That has worked well for some people. I've also seen people, just send out texts or calls to each of these people and kind of do it in like a cold call way. But it's up to you however you want to do it. But there's not a single way to do it. Not everybody is going to be great at cold calling, sending out text messages. Not everybody is going to be great at holding a Zoom where they talk about products. Not everybody is going to be great at hosting a coffee party or a tea party to educate people. So find what works for you and then do it. With those 100 people, start doing it. And so I'll put down a couple of these idea coffee party, Zoom live, cold call, social media outreach, email funnels, individual text messages.
I would say that on everything though, Duquesne. I think we've come to the advantage of don't do these mass emails, don't do these mass, because when people start seeing that they're included with another 10 or 12 people,
Yeah.
they realize it's not personal anymore, it's just a job. So it needs to be like a one-on-one kind of thing, start it off. And then if you get a bunch of people that are in the same area, yeah, then get them into a group together. But first build your group, first build your audience first, one at a time.
Yeah. And so that's where now look, you might feel like you're best at one thing and you go through your list of 100 and it didn't work out at all. And what I'm going to recommend is that then you should try a different way. So if I like hosting coffee hours and I do that with my first 100 and nobody joins, maybe that means I'm not meant to do that. So maybe that means I should start hosting Zooms, or maybe that means I should work with social media. So there will be some of trial and trying different things. Don't stick with the same thing for 1,000 people if it's not working for 1,000 people. But it is always easier to start out with what you know best. I will say another thing that works well. If scared to start, find a partner. That might be your upline. That could be a random person. That could be a friend that's not even in the root ecosystem that just will join you. And so if you want to start, hosting coffee parties and you feel uncomfortable on your own, invite your best friend, even if they're not interested in it, because that will make it seem more organic and natural just because you'll have somebody there you get along with and it starts conversation. If you're going to go out and do like door to door talking with people at shops, find a friend to walk with you while you're doing it. Because if you get 10 rejections, it's going to be a lot easier if your buddy's there with you. Door to door, door pitching. So that is what you would need to do once you have your 100 collected. I do know some people who will wait to have a list of 200 or 300. I will say don't wait too long though. I've had some people tell me they want to wait until they have a list of 1,000 people. Well, then what happens is they end up just never doing it. They try to build such a large list, and it's really almost an excuse just to not do outreach because as they go on, it starts getting harder and harder to make these connections to meet 1,000 people, and then they end up just never actually doing any outreach. And then they
True.
come back and they're upset because it didn't work out for them. But they never really did the steps that we talked about. One of the unintended side effects of reaching out to 100 people is that they normally will help you reach your next 100 people. You might be in a talk with them and they might not be interested at all, but kind of like what Jill says, they might give you 3 people who, oh, my friend Jill was talking about detoxing. Maybe she would be interested. Let me give you her contact information. And so all I want to say is don't wait too long to do outreach. So that brings us to our 7th point. And there's actually something, let me go back to 4 real quick. I didn't put this because sometimes I forget. For me, this is very normal, but I forget it's not. So that is my bad. Track your list. I recommend an Excel sheet. You can do a CRM, which is shoot, Marty, what does CRM stand for?
Customer Relations Management System.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you.
Comes with the job.
Yeah, thank you.
That was amazing.
But an Excel sheet works just fine as well. And one of the great things you can do with this is that you can start color coding and you can organize it. Once you have somebody that is a person purchasing, you can start breaking out your sheets. Because you might have somebody who says they're interested but don't want to buy right now. And so instead of just completely forgetting them, you can put them on a second sheet that is basically like future leads or reach out to next year, something like that. But what I want you to do once you start doing your 100, or if you're interested in doing this, this is a great tool to step to do next. Build your core group. Now that could be customer group or your ambassador team group. or your social, I'm trying to think of the word I use for this. It's like the socially active group, but know who your core group is of people who are interested. And that might be just 5 customers, but know who those customers are and start making sure they are a priority and that you are connecting with them, including them, bringing them into stuff. And so what that might look like, sharing all discounts with core customers. I'm not saying that you don't share discounts with other people, but if you have a core group of customers, when there's a discount, you should reach out to them one-on-one. Don't just put it on your social media. If you have somebody who is ordering every month, who is interacting with all your posts, who is always engaged, don't just treat them like everybody else. It is important to have a core group. That doesn't mean you treat everybody else not well. Share information with everybody. Still reach out to other people, but it is good to have a core group so that you have somebody to talk to. You have somebody who is reliably interacting with you. You have somebody who gets excited when you share news. If you have a core group of those who are always interacting with you on social media, let's say you create a Facebook group and they're always liking posts, they're always responding. Then when a sale happens, when an exciting update happens, when something big happens in your life and you have a grandkid, get married, whatever, tell those people individually. This is a great community building tool. And it's not just good for a business, it is good for life. It is a life hack that you should do. When I got engaged, I put it on social media, but I also reached out to, the 10 to 20 people closest to me and told them individually. It is similar to that. When I get promoted at work, I put it on LinkedIn, but I also go out and tell my friends individually. So maybe somebody here becomes a silver ambassador. Well, that's an exciting thing to share with your core group of ambassadors. So this is an ever building thing, but once you've done your first 100, start building that. You don't have to call it your core group, but if you have a customer who's really excited and orders all the products, start marking them as a core person that you include in more things, share more information with. All right, I'm seeing a lot of comments. So it doesn't look like anything. If I have somebody in my core group that has wandered off, then I won't usually include them in it anymore. It's kind of like a friend. I have some college friends who I lived with, and I don't talk to them every day anymore. That doesn't mean I'm upset with them. I don't send them a message that says, "Hey, we're not friends anymore." I don't reach out to them as much. But that might mean you run into them and all of a sudden you start talking with them every day again. I had a friend from high school I didn't talk to for probably 5 years. We now went to each other's weddings and talk probably every other week, maybe every 3 weeks. So we are now friends again. And she just messaged the other day and was just asking how Kelly and I were doing with our marriage. And she was so excited for us. Okay. Again, I'm just telling you what I do, so you all don't have to take what I say, but I'm just letting you know what I do. If you feel like you have something better to do, then keep doing it the way you're doing. So by no means is any of this lesson, you don't have to follow everything I said. I'm just giving you, um, you know, what I've done with my limited life experience. I will share it again. I have about 2 more steps. And again, this is not everything. This is just what I have people do first when they are starting up. And so the last 2 are very short. So 8, build your core group. Or sorry, 7, build your core group. 8, I'm just gonna put it as the take the next step. And this might not be super popular based off some of the chats I've seen, so I apologize. Do what you haven't done. And so what I mean with that is that if you've gone through this and you found your 100 people through just people you already knew, but you never attended an event, go attend an event. If you've done all these other 7 steps, then go attend an event or go join a social media group. You don't have to lead one. Not everyone here, I could never lead a social media group. It's not my skill set. But I'm in 6 or 7 social media groups, 2 on coffee, 4 or 5 on health and wellness. If you only did coffee parties, then try following people on social media. If you only, talked to 100 people and you didn't go off and make your next 100 list, then go do that. And then 9 is repeat. So this is what we call this actually our 3-month training cycle whenever we have an intern come into office. They basically will do this. To be honest, part of it is because when we have interns come in, we need to give them something so that they are doing that and we are not having to monitor them the entire day. But if our goal is that they've done this at least once in the 3-month period, if not twice. And so this is our, ambassador 201 is what you could call it. 101 is we show them the website, show them how to do things. 201 is that we tell them they should start doing this. What we will find, I'll put rinse and repeat because I like that wording. What we are trying to do here, where's the little, find what works for you, what you are skilled at, and what does not work for you. Take this information and go forward with it. When you are at the end of this list, you are kind of now at the point where a single step-by-step sheet will not be able to help you moving forward. Meaning, at the end of this, you all are going to be at different places. That doesn't mean Root can't help you or your upline can't help you. It just means it takes a more one-on-one approach or a more unique, situation to help you all. Because at the end of this, you might be somebody who is very social media marketing forward. And so then giving you deep talks on how to do email funnels might not be good at that point because your focus should be more on social media, growing your group. Or at the end of this, you might be a Dylan, meaning you are amazing at events, doing live conversations, showing up at businesses and doing talks that way. That is not me though. So I can, go attend things as Dylan, but Dylan will always be the event person and better at it. And so that's all I mean is that at the end of this list, you're going to find your path of what you'd like doing well and what you're good at, and then go from there. So I do see Birgit's hand and a couple other questions. Oh, I just asked you to unmute, Birgit.
Yeah, I lost the picture. Clayton wrote something to me and I went out of the Zoom. Now I have to find the Zoom again. Here we go. Can I say something totally different than the topic we just had? Because we need to reach out to people personally, because I'm going crazy over the fact that I look into my huge group and see RPS with 66 points only all the time. And apparently the ambassadors haven't told their customers that have RPS that they have to add a ram roast or add a zero-in mini pack to come over 74 to be free of delivery costs. And the customers naturally are, stupefied because has the product become so much more expensive? No, you didn't read your newsletter. It is not 66 points, it's 74, which you either have to order a zero-in, which makes you good, or add to the clean slate a ram roast for 26, which is or discounted then too, or a mini pack of zero-in to try it or to give it to someone else. We have to stress this because I see 66, 66, 66, and people come back to me and say, oh, my customer was so disappointed. So I say, yeah, you didn't read your newsletter. That's what I wanted to mention. We have to sort of not only find 100 new people, but teach our people how to get news to their customers that are already there.
I 100% agree with that, and I think that's a great note for everyone here. Now, I will say that's not Ambassador 201. That would be Ambassador 301 because that's nourishing and nurturing your current leads, contacts, and customers, which is a whole nother topic. That is very important, and we can definitely do one on that. I would say that really helps if you are keeping track of your leads and customers on a spreadsheet. That makes it so much easier. And this is part of, the 301, which is nourishing your leads, customers, and contacts. If you have a spreadsheet, if you're keeping good track of what things are, it is better to nourish these people by keeping them in the loop or so on and so on. That is also very helpful to have your core group of people, your core, lead team, whatever you want to call it, because they can help you all with those responsibilities. But no, Birgit, that's a great point, and we can definitely do some more on that. That gets a little bit more into the like leading your business and leading your team, which I think is a very necessary topic as well. But I will also say, I think not enough people do this 100 leads. And I would challenge and say, again, I'm the one that says it blunt. I would say 75% of the root community doesn't do enough of this with new ambassadors or with ambassadors that have hit plateaus. Because I know I spend probably half of my week on one-on-one calls or group calls. And whenever I ask people, what leads do you have? What potential outreaches? Very rarely do people have some ready. And so that's one of the reasons for this call was to give this type of technique and strategy to people to see if they could make use of it and if it works for them. And again, maybe something different works for people. But I think this is a great place to start at least. Any
Also think
other?
no doesn't mean no. People got to realize it doesn't mean no the first time.
Yeah, I
No.
also think another thing is that if you're not always, and this is kind of what John Rankin did when he did his sales talks, but sometimes people are asking questions or giving out information that lead to a no. Um, if you're just saying, hey, if you're talking with people about what you do for work and, hey, let me share a little bit more information about what I do at work, very few people say no about that.
Mhm.
Versus if your first contact is, hey, buy this from me, I would say no to that most of the time.
Right.
Again, that goes into like sales and nourishing leads, which is definitely more topics we can do. This is more of a just new ambassadors that are stuck, hit your plateau. What can I do to jumpstart? What can I do to get started? I am going to share that link one more time if you all want it. It has
Do it. There it
also
is.
been a little bit of time since I've shared the product training. What did I call that? Onboarding document. I was going to share that as well. There it is. This is probably out to date. or out of date, if I'm being honest, just because I have not done it in a while. But this is what I created, and then it's been built out. Tiger's helped me edit it a little bit and some other people. But I built this out when I started, and it had videos on each product so that I could go there and learn about them when I forgot about stuff, but also so I could share out those videos with people. I will say QR codes do work really well. Marty is much better at that than I am, but Marty is amazing at making business cards or creating flyers that have QR codes on it for people to direct them to the website. So QR codes definitely do work, and I know Marty is amazing, honestly, at even like just being at an event, even without a booth, and just handing out flyers or business cards and getting a lot of leads that way.
Just talking.
Yeah, well, you're
Just
more
talking.
social. You and Dylan are better at talking than I
Oh,
am.
you were pretty good. Don't do that to
I'm
yourself.
good at trainings and lessons, but small talk is not my strength.
Mm. You do great, and then 5 o'clock comes and you shut down. No one talks to
Mhm.
you.
Yeah. So again, in the chat, there's the document that just was the Google Doc I typed up. And then there is the spreadsheet, which is a sheet that has a bunch of different videos on the products. It is English, it is not German. So that is my bad, but I made this for myself, so that is why it's in English. Birgit, is that another hand or?
Yes, I was going to ask you at the end. In former times, we sold the tickets for the events over the back office, so we could see how many people attended by a counter in there. Now, over Eventbrite, the Frankfurt event, we applied, and I cannot see how many people already signed up as well. So, is there any counter you can see how many people are coming, because we cannot exceed 100 to 120 in the room we arranged for at the Marriott. So we sort of have to say, okay, now it's sold out or whatever. And we had that before with other events. We could see so and so many tickets left to buy, which encouraged people to sign up earlier than last day.
I'll get with the event team and have them add a counter onto
That would be
Eventbrite so
super,
we can do it
super.
that way. Again, one of the reasons we did not do it through the root system is because we are encouraging everybody to invite non-root brands people there to potentially sign up, join the business, so on and so on.
Yeah.
You all might have seen our focus this year, but it is to help you all grow and find new customers, new leads, new business partners. And so we're hoping the Eventbrite does that just because it's a little bit more normal to people to use that than to have to create an account and do that way. So, yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much. I'm off to eat lunch, but reach out if you have any questions, and I hope everyone has a great day. Bye, you all.
Thank you.